Hello everyone. Good afternoon here in Portland, Oregon. Good morning, good evening, wherever you are. This multi-dimensional, wonderful plane of existence. I know a bunch of you guys are at work and you'll probably catch a replay. I wanted to talk a little bit about why some people might be having a little tougher time moving past stuff. Okay. Hi, Julie. Hi, Roy. Okay. Have you ever had an experience you're just like, how come I can't get over this? Or how come I can't get past this? I know, weird, huh? Never happens. We're human. Everybody does this. Okay. So I want to give you guys a little tip. Also, I'm actually going to include a gift for you guys, which will be available on my website. It's actually a hypnotherapy session that I made for people to assist them, and it's going to be available on my website. So I just wanted to put that out there. So this will help you. Okay, so the subconscious mind accounts for 95% of your waking reality. That means only 5%. That's like a nickel out of every dollar. $5 out of every $100. Okay? 5% of your waking reality is intentional. Okay? So there's a lot of different people, lots of different healing modalities and whatnot, but if you have a tough time harnessing and trying to figure out the subconscious mind, which contributes, it's the habitual mind, it attributes to 95% of our waking reality. That means 95% of our days of who we are is actually programmed habits from when we were younger and from society and different repetitive belief systems, okay? So here's the thing that people, when we try to do healing and stuff, yes, it's great. When we do energy healing, it brings us into that present state. Mindfulness and meditation brings us into that present state. Yoga brings us into that present state. Hi, Maud. Hi, Alan. Hi, Pia. Hi, Veronica. Okay. So we can look at a couple of things here. How can we more easily get into a present state? And how do we work with the subconscious mind? Okay. So, and I realized that this was a very, very key factor to my own healing of my own life, and moving past alcoholism and lots of different addictions. There's stories that we want to pay attention to. What stories do we tell ourselves? Okay. Not what situations do we get into. What stories are we repeating in ourselves that's causing us to repeat these different situations over and over again? Because chances are, if you're repeating something over and over and over again, it's because you have a story that you learned internally that helped you at some point in your life. Now that we're grown-ups, those stories are a little restricting. So if we want to actually make change happen, and if you really want to accelerate your healing process, it would be very, very, very wise of you to start looking into subconscious ways or ways to heal the subconscious mind, whether it be hypnotherapy, neurolinguistic programming, or many of the other different things, to actually get you into how do I create new stories? Because when we actually when we do a little healing, it's great. It uplifts the body. It gets us into presence. Our evolution in terms of healing is moving us here, okay? But if we have stories that we have on repeat, they're going to keep us stuck up here, because what happens, it's like we fragment ourselves out of our bodies, because we then start blaming different things for our discomfort and all these different things going on. Okay? So it'd be really great to go, okay, how do we not place blame? But it's actually about, how do I rewrite my stories? How do I write my stories the way that I want them to come out, the way that I want them to be? This can be financially, through your relationships, through anything, how you learn, how your creative process works. Perhaps it comes up and makes it difficult for you to meditate because you have a story that tells you it's really hard to meditate. I have lots of voices in my head. I have lots of stuff in my head. Stories, excuses, what stories do you want to tell yourself? Okay? So now here's the thing, is that if we actually start resolving these stories and turning them into stories that we actually want to be telling ourselves, you're going to notice a huge and very fast acceleration within your healing process. Our thoughts become reality. Repetitive thought becomes belief. Energy follows our thoughts. Okay? What we perceive and who we hang out with affects the way we think. If we hang out with people that are, not the greatest in terms of like they're, having, or, let's just use the example of being in a relationship with a narcissist or an abuser or something like that. We look at this in terms of, what is this teaching me? How can I learn how to increase my self-worth? Okay, first, you need boundaries. Second, you're worth better than that. Oftentimes we fall into love because we feel it's from a place of lack. We have a story that says that there's a lack of things. This is how our society programs us to run off of, that we have a lack. Nothing is lacking. We have an abundance of everything. Everything is abundant. Even our belief systems are abundant. We can choose how to have belief systems that are positive and nurturing in nature, or we can choose belief systems that repeat that story of lack, to where I don't have anything better than this, I'm going to settle for less. What if you raised your standards and repeated yourself and created a story that would uplift your heart and allow you to be so much more into your heart? Like, I'm doing a good job. Everything is starting to unfold for me in a natural way. This is all law of attraction stuff too. But here's the thing, is that when people are trying to overcome little addictions or habits, smoking or drinking or anything like that, they often fall back and drift back because, the mind and repeating in your mind can only do so much. And, writing out a routine in a program can works for some people with massive amounts of willpower and strength. But most people with addictions and habits, we actually have come from a place of not knowing what worthiness even is. So it's this expansion and this learning process of, how do I get to love myself more in new ways? And as I practice this, and as I actually start integrating different subconscious ways to assist my entire being holistically into creating a story that's new, how do I actually step up and bring up my unification of my mind, my body, my heart, all at the same time? Hi, Chris. Hi, Jennifer. Okay, so it's really important. So, what's happening in my own life these days is, I've had to go real deep in terms of how can I really love myself more. The other day I was noticing, I was really feeling, and tell me if you guys have been experiencing this too, because we're all kind of picking up on a lot of the same stuff, and especially as energetically sensitive people. But I was really in this space of indifference. And it wasn't apathy. It wasn't like I hate myself. It was just like this repetition of boredom, indifference, blah. Like, I could perfectly, you know, and I've been kind of going through waves of this for a while. And so it's really, you know, and I had to go into, okay, what is this teaching me? How do I move through this feeling of indifference, this feeling of like, everything's just like, even though I have so many things to be grateful for. Why is it that I have a story that's not allowing the gratitude to be on repeat, but where it's becoming easier for me to focus on and dwell on the things that suck? I don't know about you, but I want to switch that. I don't like focusing on what sucks because it makes me feel bad, but also knowing that if I want to create a reality that's really expansive, that I really kind of need to step out of this groove in the record, this repetitive thing, and go, what is it that I want to create? So with indifference, you know, I wrote down a list of all the resources. If I were to sit and talk to a friend and they were feeling blah, 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 and I would say, well, what resources would you need in order to not feel that way, or in order to live in a way that you're feeling empowered? So I listed off all these things, like, you know, empowerment, strength. What would be the antidote to indifference? Excitement, joy, celebration. And literally what I was doing was I was creating this list, and, you know, because these are all aspects of, you know, our higher selves as well. So we have this opportunity to feel these ways. And yes, indifference is something to feel, and you can feel it, but we can also change our state of being. Here's the thing, is that if indifference or any of these other emotions become habitual, that's when it becomes a problem. So I'm not a proponent of, yes, stop feeling your feelings and ignore your feelings. I'm a proponent of noticing when these emotions become habitual, if that makes sense. So oftentimes the emotion of failure becomes a habit. The emotion of unworthiness becomes a habit. The emotion of all these different things can become habitual. So how do we scoot out of these things? Simply by focusing on new emotions that we'd prefer to focus on. I don't know about you, but I like feeling inspired. I do not like feeling indifferent. I like knowing that I am fully capable of creating my reality, and knowing that I am able to do what I want, and that I am a powerful person, and that I am a loving, beautiful, wonderful person, and I want to achieve certain things. But it was to the point where I didn't even want to create things. That's when it became just an issue. Me not wanting to create things? What? That's bullshit. Not me. That's not my stuff. I know that's not my authentic self. Indifference is not my authentic self. Therefore, I know it is not mine. I was empathing. I was feeling a part of the collective. I was feeling outside of myself other people's energies and funks that was like indifferent. Because that's not me. That is not me. My authentic self is joyful, fun, exuberant, creative, social. That's who I am. Okay? And it took me a long time to realize that this is like who I am. And through meditation, mindfulness, and really, really getting on point with who I am. But when we're feeling these different things, ask yourself, is this my authentic self? If you're feeling things a lot, is this my authentic self that I'm feeling right now? Okay, so if you are feeling disempowered, is that your authentic self? Is that the you that you think you came into this planet to be? Okay? My authentic self is the one that likes to expand, create, inspire, be inspired, to feel better, to push limits, to really step into new states of being. So, anything other than that love and joy and bliss, I know that's not mine. So I knew that was like, okay, let's get this out. Now, my brain kind of works a little differently than a lot of other people's, but that's why it's, I like educating people about these things. Because yes, we can feel feelings, but again, it's if those feelings become a habit. So, and then it becomes a habit, because then you start realizing you're still feeling the same shit and it's been 10 years and nothing's changed other than you getting more increasingly mad at yourself or upset at yourself. So it's really important to talk about, what hypnotherapy is. Okay, hypnotherapy is going into a subconscious mind. This is just like how we are in between the ages of 0 and 7. We're downloading information. So a hypnotherapist can induce a hypnotic state in an individual. It's not getting people up on stage. That's something else. But a hypnotherapist, and what I do is I help people go, well, okay, so this is what's been going on. What would you prefer? And so I talk to people about what it is that they prefer, but also as an empath and psychic, I'm also able to tap into what deeper stories are actually going on that are even more of a deep root than what, say, the majority of people are actually coming in for. If somebody says, I want to quit smoking, that's not really what I specialize in. But what I do specialize in is let's resolve and fix that aspect of you that feels disempowered. Let's go back into your childhood and let's fix that time when you first felt that it was okay to give your power away. Why is my head like, that was weird. Okay. So now with anxiety and depression, owning, and I'm not, Deborah, I'm not picking on you, but this is something that I want to point out, and I'm glad you mentioned this. We have different states. If you choose to, it's so weird. This ascension thing and the electronics is real. It's weird. Weird. It's like super bright. There we go. But anyways, our bodies can heal themselves very easily if we get out of the way of our bodies to do so. So when we choose to own things like my anxiety and my depression, when we choose to own things like this is my anxiety and my depression, you may as well be saying, this is my wristwatch, this is the way I am. And when you declare that as this is the way I am, that leaves zero room for you to heal and to rise up out of anxiety and depression. Okay? So what we want to do is think of what's outside of that habitual feeling. It's just something you've been used to. What if you were to start saying, I'm going to allow myself to feel a little bit more empowered today. Be softer with yourself. And here's the thing, I'm actually going to put in the comments, I'm going to give you guys a hypnotherapy session in the comments of this video. And please share this video. And I'm not asking for money. If you feel like, it's been great and worth your time, you can donate something. But really, I want to help people. I also want to let people know how potent this stuff is in terms of when we get to the core root of things, your life will change. But you have to insist that it become your reality. You can't just go, oh, I tried it for 2 days and no, my anxiety was too strong. You're stronger than your emotions. You are not your emotions. You're not your past. You're also not your future. You're you right now. You are stronger than the situations and things than you observe outside of your being. You are more powerful and capable of anything. And oftentimes that's actually what keeps us from expanding, is a fear of our own power. I know that one. Okay? So when we want to be mindful of the different things that we declare, are these just stories? Are these just stories that we tell ourselves that have been a part of our reality? Or can we actually create a new story? Get out your pen and paper, your journal, and start creating a new story that's empowering, that allows you to feel better. Your natural state of being is not feeling like crap. Your natural state of being is feeling expansive, feeling love, feeling joy, being in your heart. And just by you being you, you are able to inspire the many, because you're allowing this great, profound change to shift. But your subconscious mind contributes 95% of your waking reality. Now, here's what's really cool. With the ascension process and spiritual awakening, what's going on... Hi, Andres. I'm feeling better. Andres hit me up like 2 minutes into waking up this morning, and I'm like, not now, girl. I'm feeling much better. But we're evolving from the mind and into the heart. So we also want to know that as you lessen the things in your reality to blame, as you accept more of who you are, you will become more embodied. You will become more heart-centered. Okay? We're going to be evolving into a state where eventually the heart is going to be such the command center that many of these habits in the subconscious mind aspects of reality will actually devolve, meaning there won't be a need for them. Like how whales, probably once started to walk on land, and now they don't have legs anymore. They have flippers because they evolved into that. So that habitual aspect of our subconscious mind is going to devolve as our heart becomes completely heart-centered. Okay. Now, I'm not talking about like the way you eat and stuff like that, but it's going to even go into, we will be able to master and basically all the cells within our body. That's how embodied we will become. We will be able to communicate with every little aspect, every atom and molecule within our being. It's pretty cool. But it's a little hard to do that if we're, feeling disempowered by different addictions, habits, and whatnot. So the key to changing what it is that you want to change, first, acknowledge accountability, noticing that there's a story within you that is from the past that may not resonate with you anymore, and that's causing discomfort and possibly disease. Okay, because it's out of alignment. It's not you. Okay? Okay? So with, watch your words, Andres. Need is a big word. I would like to experience a more healthy state of being, or a lighter way of being. I've got plenty of weight that I'd like to lose also. But in terms of, we got to feel and think into what will it be like when? Because we need to harness in and manifest those feelings and insist that those feelings become our reality of going, I feel good. Is it because we're wanting to change the way we look for other people, or is it through health or whatnot? But if we allow ourselves to think and feel into a new way of being, to step out, and this is why the subconscious mind in hypnotherapy is so important, because we're able to direct and suggest new situations. Direct in new situations. I know you love yourself, girl. We all, I'm just saying that, like, I totally relate to that one. But in terms of, with losing weight, or, what would it be like to become stronger? What would it be like to be more mobile and to have more freedom and movement in my body? That's the feeling that I want to embody. So now if we think about these things and then just sit on the couch, then that's not really, but if we think about something and then we go and do it and we start achieving a goal, then it becomes much easier. But with the subconscious mind, it's important to repeat what it is that you want. So this recording that I'm going to gift you guys, pardon me, this recording that I'm going to gift you guys is actually all about loving your heart, moving into your heart. So I know that we're evolving into a heart-centered reality. I've known this for a while. So this session is all about helping your subconscious mind that used to do all sorts of dorky things that get in the way of you evolving. It actually helps you become more focused in your heart and more loving of yourself, and actually creating this new habit within your subconscious mind to feel better about things. And to know that this is the direction that my life is going. This is the reason, this is not the reason of your discomfort. The reason of your discomfort is from the abundance of belief systems that have caused you to be off track of moving here. So this session, ironically, is called The Power of Love. I know, insert Luther Vandross now. Say as much as you want. So, but when you listen to this repeatedly every day for about a week, you will notice a lot of changes happening. It's very relaxing. It's like a guided meditation. It is like listening to everything your heart ever wanted to hear. Okay? And watch what happens. It's really fantastic, because when you start acknowledging that we are learning, everything in life is teaching us how to love ourselves. You can spend all the times getting distracted on everything in your life with different philosophies and different things. Everything in life is teaching you how to go here. Everything. Mic drop. Everything here. Not here. It's old school. Okay, how do we create a new reality? So now, imagine everybody else is moving through these subconscious shifts and moving into the state of heart-centered reality and awareness to where it becomes a global thing. So if you can imagine, more and more people are actually scooting into a reality that's not so much reflective of being subconsciously victimized, but in a more intentional state. If everybody is starting to become more intentional with their wanting to create change, that's going to be some potent shit going on. Right? It's cool. Because if everybody is more intentional, more aware of what their words were saying and different actions were coming out, then there would not be fighting and war and all that stuff. There wouldn't. If everybody was living, if it was reversed 95% subconscious to 5% conscious, if it reversed to 95% conscious and intentional, everybody would be living in a harmonized state of balance. Everyone. It can happen. Yeah, we got some work to do. But these are some things that are actually slowly happening. Through the awakening process and the state of ascension, this is what is actually going on. So we're slowly evolving into becoming heart-centered reality. So, but most people don't understand how much the subconscious mind takes place of this. So if you're going to do healing work, it's really important to include the subconscious mind, or else you're kind of just like, okay, cool. I don't know about you, but I like to notice things happening and shifting and changing. I want to know that I'm able to create profound change within my life and be able to inspire others to do that. Okay, so, but it requires a subconscious mind. Okay, a lot of healers who are really good at the work that they do, they're good at the work that they do because they're much more conscious, they're much more intentional throughout their day. Okay, they hold space. They're able to hold space, and that also allows their hearts to actually allow other people to process the way that they need to. People who are, if we continue that life that is, we can blame all these different things. We can blame all these different things for our discomfort. And that's repeating that victimized thing. And that's actually, that victim thing is what we're actually trying to heal. So if you don't want to be a victim and blame things for your discomfort, what would be the opposite? What would be the antidote to that? what would be the positive emotion that we'd want to feel into? Empowerment? Feeling at peace? Acceptance? Accountable? We have to get out of that mindset of everything's happening to me. Because everything's happening for you. And even the guy on that CNN, and I hate to bring up politics, but that Michael Cohen thing with Congress and whatnot, the residing judge or guy or whatever, actually said that in his closing arguments. It was great to hear that. And I'm not much of a politico, but it was great to hear this person talking about everything happens for you. And I don't know why this is happening for you, but it's happening for you for a reason. What is the reason? That's what I'm talking about in terms of accountability. Learning these reasons. Treat these different things like you're in school. Okay? Like it's a different sort of fascinating school. And as you do that, you're going to start finding a whole lot of answers that are going to start flowing, creating a whole lot of ease and comfort into your life that you've never experienced. Okay? How are you guys feeling after hearing all this? Subconscious mind's important. Super important. It's like 95% important. Okay? So to overcome my, drinking a pint of whiskey, my cocaine, my MDMA habits and everything, I was like GHB, I was doing all the things. And for like 14, 15 years, I kept doing all the things. And my life was not changing at all. I was getting more and more depressed. I was getting more and more anxious, more and more mad at myself, more sad, until I hit a breaking point. And that breaking point was waking up in the morning when I was smoking cigarettes. I went to go smoke a cigarette after a night of partying. And my car was in a driveway. And I thought that these people that I met at the club were the ones that drove me home. And that's when this voice said, no, you drove yourself home. And it was right then when I realized that I could have really hurt a lot of people. But then I looked at the scope of how I could have affected people. And then I realized, wow, I could affect people in a positive way. What would it be like if I affected people in a positive way? And I realized that, then this voice says, look at all the times that we've protected you. And it was like this Rolodex experience of all these different times where I should have been thrown in jail, killed, hurt somebody else, arrested, you name it. And I realized I was a living miracle. And that's when I learned that miracles existed. And that's when I started receiving information that I had to develop curriculum and inspire many, many people to do the same. And oftentimes, all of us healers, we move through these tough situations in life so we can help other people. Okay? Now, we can choose to not do that, not voice who we are for fear of other people judging us. But there's a lot more people who get inspired by you doing great than your mind allows you to think. Okay? And by God, if I can do it, so can you. I didn't think that I would ever end up doing this stuff. And it's really beautiful what we all are capable of doing. And it just requires some bravery. It requires you trying and trying and trying again. And sometimes it takes a miracle. And if I can help unplug a little bit of that in somebody's lives to inspire somebody to try a little bit harder or feel a little bit better about who they are, that creates a ripple effect into so many different people's lives and communities. And if I can just share one little hypnotherapy session to help people's subconscious minds learn how to love themselves and their bodies a little bit more, that's pretty cool. And I'm blessed to be able to do so. I'm very abundant to be able to do so. And there's my dream in the past was just being able to help one person. And if I ever need to move out of that state of indifference, I just need to sit down, close my eyes, and pay attention to how much I've changed, the bravery that I've gone through in any situation. You know, even if I do feel still victimized from a certain situation, that I have the capacity to appreciate that, for there's a lesson in it that's teaching me how to evolve more. And maybe there's just certain things that we need to try that we haven't tried before. And, you know, I ask you to listen to these talks in loving discernment. With anybody who's talking about this work or these different things, I want you to really, really honor yourself in discerning what feels right to you, what feels true to you. Because there's a lot of people who are talking about false stuff and different information that is not always accurate. And this is really important. Your intuitions, the way you feel, this is what I tell my clients. I tell my clients, the most profound information I can give anybody, the information that's costs like this little piece of information, I should charge $50,000 for it. Not really. But if you feel icky, if it makes you feel icky, it probably is. Mic drop. But it's true. And here's the thing, truth doesn't make you feel icky. Okay? But in your body, you have a little truth meter. Okay? Now, the truth meter is easier to read when you're not clogged with all sorts of other people's emotions and, subconscious habits that are causing you to feel less than yourself. So, as you become more authentically you and heal and resolve a lot of your stuff and becoming more intentional, you become a very, very, very good read of what is true. And this has become one of the beautiful, beautiful benefits of me doing all this healing work on myself, is that it's very, very easy for me to know what is true and when somebody's, saying something wrong or not right or some sort of weird. It's so weird that it keeps doing that. There we go. But those intuitions become a lot more honed as we love ourselves more, okay? Other things that happen as you learn to love yourselves more, you become a stronger frequency of the healing energy itself. As you move in your heart, you become a greater aspect of loving light, okay? And this is actually Heart Math Institute stuff, heart coherence stuff. This is actually scientifically proven. This is not bullshit. It's not woo. Everything's science. Everything is science. Okay, everything is physics because everything is energy. What makes it limiting is the belief systems that say these things are limiting. The mind can only expand and understand so much according to its frequency where it's at. So if you learn to love yourself more, you will also be able to access more information of higher dimensions. And as you start loving yourself more, you become a multidimensional. You already are multidimensional. You become more tapped into your multidimensional abilities. Okay? With telepathy, different psychic abilities, all this different stuff starting to happen. And lots of people are waking up. Let me ask you guys this. Have you noticed how so many more people nowadays, and don't like that lighting. It's just not right on this face. So many people these days are waking up. You're noticing how wellness programs are everywhere. There's just everything going on. There's all this wellness stuff. But it seems like that's what's going on. But then you also see that, well, there's a lot of people that don't do it still. And that's okay. Everybody's where they're supposed to be. Okay? But as we, focus on what we like and what feels true to us, we start creating that momentum, that reality of becoming that inspiration of who we've always wanted to become. Okay? So with indifference in my own life, I wanted to really know that, hey, there's all these wonderful things that I am, that I'm experiencing, that I'm becoming a part of, that I've done. I've done a lot of things that most people would only dream of, before the age of 40, with overcome the addictions and all that stuff. But then my brain started to come up with different reasons to not like myself. And I was in a relationship a couple of years ago that was teaching me that I was not a good person because it was a manipulative person I was dating, So I've had to recorrect a lot of these things. And it's like, it was like I devolved a little bit. No, I had to refine my knowledge. I had to refine my strength and my bravery and my courage so I can help myself and learn what it's like to be me, loving me as best I can, and doing the best that I can, and knowing that the best that I can is the best that I can do. And same with you guys. We're all doing this together, but there's lots of different ways to help people out. But if your life is in disarray, know that this is an opportune time for you to focus on you, not to keep helping other people. Give yourself a moment of worthiness to assist you in redirecting your energy where it needs to go. If you're having a hard time, they're going to be okay. If you're having a hard time and you're depressed, you better stop focusing on everybody else and learn new ways to love yourself more. Or that feeling of depression is only going to continue to get worse until you figure it out. I'm not making this shit up. This is truth. Now, the hard part can be, how do I learn how to love myself if all those people need help? Well, here's the thing, is that what's going to happen when you start loving yourself, the people that have been used to helping you or receiving your help all the time, they're going to learn how to start taking care of themselves. This is called the bird needs to fly. There's some enabling in this healing lesson, this empath lesson. Okay? So and even looking at depressed, split that word apart into deep rest. Okay? There's some inner stuff that needs to be sorted out, some belief systems that need to start being reworked out so you can actually start feeling better about who you are. If you make your life a priority, everything will become easier. People who declare you making your life a priority as being selfish, that's because their belief systems are a little fucked up. Okay? And yes, it's hard to go against the grain of societal conditions. But for me, being a super mega empath, I've had to go into, I'm my priority in life. This is kind of a life or death situation in me. If I continue to just help everybody else, I'm going to end up in a not good space. Okay? So people say, what's your self-care routine? I do 90 minutes every morning, at least. Okay? And then oftentimes I meditate throughout the day too. But after you start doing self-care, you start realizing how good it feels. You start living intentionally. You're here in the moment. You're able to appreciate more. Okay? And going back to the subconscious mind, when you're in the moment and you're appreciating things more, you're living in that place of intention. Okay? So, I'm going to, yeah, if you guys could please share this video. This is a really, it's actually turned into a much more important video than I was actually intending. But if you could please share this with people, because there's a lot of people that aren't doing well right now, okay? There's some that are doing good, but they seem few and far between. I'm doing really good right now, which is great. Love it. I want to stay here. But it's okay if I fall off. But it's really important that we get this information out, because as we think smarter, not harder, and if we can use these different things and sharing, where you don't have to give out your energy, you just like actually influence somebody by, hey, here's this video that, really helped me on so many levels. It makes it a lot easier. Thanks for sharing this, you guys. Hi, Cameron. So as we all start to do better, it becomes a giant ripple effect. And so as we create these ripple effects of affecting people in a positive way, it changes lives. And sometimes it's just the right thing at the right time, that synchronized message that needed to show up in somebody's life that gives them all the emotion, the positive emotion and fuel that they've needed for a long time to feel good, to start expanding. So again, in this, I am going to include this hypnotherapy session. With this session, since I do work with very high healing energies, as Andres could attend to, Maud knows this as well. So it's essentially, the healing energy is actually coming through the sounds of my voice. My voice is encoded with sacred geometric codings and healing frequencies. When I speak, it comes from here, not from here. Okay, when people are talking from here, they get all, and they get, So, but it's my intention, the essence of my voice and everything in these sessions that allow you to move into a really beautiful state of relaxation. So think of it like a guided meditation. You're going to close your eyes, uninterrupted, turn off your notifications on your phone, and you're going to want to listen to this every morning for a week to 10 days or as needed. Okay, it's a downloadable file. You can download it to your phone and download it to your computer, and you can keep it for the rest of your lives. Okay? These sessions that I do, I typically don't give them out for free. Okay? It's not free. This is just something that's, I want people to experience this. Okay? And how potent and wonderful you can actually feel. Okay? And there's a need for it right now too. And typically a bit about, what I want, what I do and who I am and what I do is I help people through spiritual awakening. I consult with different groups and different, moving into to consulting in businesses, as well as healing and mental health. I help psychologists, doctors, and other people who do healing work to actually increase the potency of their work. So by moving over limiting beliefs such as I'm not good enough, or, I'm helping everybody too much but myself, these all affect the way we're able to heal and be the best that we can in these environments of people doing help for people. So my dream, I'll share with you my dream. My dream is that I want to go to all the different sacred sites around the world and talk about the different healing aspects of all these different sacred sites. And I want to travel and work remotely while consulting with some of the highest, biggest businesses and helping them change the directive, the narrative of their emotional wellness within the workplace and the work environment, but also within the medical world as well. If you are a person who is a healer and you're needing some assistance, I'm also available too, and my website is theepichuman.com. Theepichuman.com. Okay, so now, and this is a common question that I get, is how much for healing and mental health help? Okay, how much does it cost? Now, how much does it cost to continue being stuck? And this is when it can be difficult for different people. So there's an aspect of valuing our lives and knowing that, hey, when we need to make something happen, we need to make it happen, okay? But also knowing that when we're doing this work, we're charging for our time. So honestly, I don't know what needs to be done, because what I offer is going to the root and resolving all the roots of what's going on. I'm not a symptom person. I take care of the roots that alleviate all the symptoms and bring you back into alignment. So if you want to go see a symptom person, that's a lot of Western medicine stuff, but you can go, get a little sense of ease and peace, but subconsciously it's going to come back. So I like to take care of all of it. I'm a very no bullshit type of guy. So I need to know what it is, in fact, that is troubling you, what's going on, and to be super blunt, how messed up are you? Like, how messed up what are we talking here? And I'm just being very, very honest about this. What are your goals? What are your dreams and ambitions? Because, for me to just go, okay, cool, your anxiety is gone. That's not the type of work that I do. I'm the person that goes, your anxiety is gone. Your self-worth is now self-empowerment. You're feeling much better about who you are in all levels because we've taken care of your mom issues and your father issues. We've cleared out those old traumas. And now we're actually allowing you to manifest and create the world that you want to be a part of and actually become that reality. So that's the type of work that I do. Okay. So if you just want to like yourself again, listen to this hypnotherapy session that I'm including in the comments. Okay. And then you'll get an idea. But I'm really, with the coaching clients, I'm very, kind of particular about, where people are at. I have to get to know the person and really kind of go, okay, what is it that you're wanting? And it's a very in-depth kind of process. And I interview, go through a couple of interviews for each client that I work with. Okay, because it has to be a good fit on their end too. And if I know of somebody else who would be a better fit for them, I'm absolutely going to refer them to somebody else. So it needs to be a win-win, okay? A win-win for everybody to know that, this is something that you really want to move into, to experience. But this session I'm going to give to you is going to help you feel a lot better, okay, about things. And yeah, so anyways, there's lots of beautiful things happening. And the reason why people are having contrasted experiences of not feeling good is because there's a whole lot of opportunity knocking at your door, and we just have to learn how to change our belief systems. Okay. Belief systems are subconscious. Okay. And yes, all the work that I do is online. I use Zoom and all that. So yeah, my dreams are becoming bigger and bigger and bigger. And because I keep following what excites me. And if I start paying attention to what excites everybody else, then I lose the focus of who I am and the joy that I bring into things. So it's very important for all of us healers to tap into what excites you. And how do I make that reality become reality? So again, I'm Danny Picard. TheEpicHuman.com is my website. You can find also my YouTube channel, which is Danny Picard Inspires. And my Instagram is The Danny Picard. We also have The Epic Human here on Facebook too. So I'll post that session in the comments. And if anybody is looking to do some work, some individual work, if you've been already doing a lot of work for a while, and you just need a couple of things ironed out, or if you're looking for a long-term 6-month guidance, which is including healing, training, education, and manifestation, feel free to contact me. And we'll kind of sort through things and see what we can do, okay? And if you feel lost, how would you like to feel instead? I'll leave you with that, okay? And if you'd like to feel something other than lost instead, How bad do you want it? And I hope that by wanting it, it will allow you to listen to this session every morning for 7 days. And this is a big reason why I often do not give away things for free, because people don't often value it enough to listen to it every day for a week. Okay. So, and these are just true words here. And that's why I don't, that's why I typically just do the live videos, because I also want to help people, but I also want to know that people value the work that I do. I want to know that I'm valuing the work that I do, because there was a lot of time when I never valued anything that came out of my mouth. So if I continued to not value anything that comes out of my mouth, that's replaying the old stuff of that